speaking of George, we're talking about a different George.
Lucas, apparently.
But first, I want to pose the question, and I know the answer.
Okay.
And I want to see if you guys know it.
All right.
Well,
I'll give my best guess.
Yeah.
At the beginning of every single Star Wars, a George Lucas story, we see this. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far...
Fart away.
Away.
All right.
A far, far away. Why a long time ago? This is a sci-fi, is it not? It's usually presented for the future.
Yeah.
Why a long time ago? And that's what I want to talk about. I did some research. I found the answer. I know why.
A long time ago.
Why do you guys think it's for a long time ago? A galaxy far, far away. Cool. Why a long time ago?
Because George likes fantasy.
Okay.
And fantasy always happens a long time ago.
Okay.
And he likes the idea of space history,
Yeah.
Okay.
space story, right? It's something that that already happened, and we are experiencing the stories.
Yeah.
Okay.
The samurais aren't today. The samurais are back in the day.
Yeah.
And Jedis are a samurai. The space samurai.
So, let me tell you the story. During the fourth draft of the Star Wars story, he read this book, The Use of Enchantment, the Meaning and Importance of Fairy Tales. All right? This, he claims, directly inspired and moved characters and story development in an entirely new direction.
Okay.
It became much more, as you said, than a sci-fi. It is
fairy
now
tale. A fairy tale.
a fairy tale because he understood what a fairy tale.
Who's the fairy tale?
It's a space opera.
It's an opera, but it's he understood the power and the storytelling ability that a fantasy can give you. So that's why he chose to go with a long time ago, because at the beginning of every single story, he wanted the people to remember, this is a fantasy. It's not just a sci-fi. It's not just a future story. This is a fantasy. A lot's going to happen. This is a space Game of Thrones, if you will. Well, it's different.
I think it's closer to like, I don't know, space something else.
Space.
drama. Space.
It's space.
There's always drama, but
I don't know.
it's a fantasy, dude.
yeah,
An adventure.
It's an adventure.
It's an adventure. And so he wanted people to remember that. It started with, after we read that book, it inspired different ideas for characters, and then that little phrase came into his head, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And it stuck. And that's why it's a far, far away. He wants to let people know.
It definitely adds to the magic of the movie.
This isn't just in a galaxy far, far away. This is not just the final frontier. You know, this is
No, I would say this is the final frontier.
this is a long time ago.
It also lends itself well to understanding the technology, is that because this is a fantasy, because it's like a fairy tale, we don't have to understand how things work. We don't have to understand how their engines work. We don't have to understand what all the buttons and switches do.
We don't have to fully understand the Force.
We don't have to understand, especially nowadays, why things are big and blocky in a future universe. It's not a future universe. It's not a highly technological universe. It's a universe with different technology that works differently than ours. What we see is things getting smaller. That's not how Star Wars works.
Correct.
Can I step still on this, but kind of step to I just have a question. You know how most writers, when they're writing a story, they kind of write themselves in as like a character, in a way. What character would you say George Lucas is in Star Wars? What does he see himself as? I have an answer.
Do you know? Or
No.
is this a guess?
This is a guess and a funny answer, to be honest. He sees himself as Obi-Wan.
Wait,
Oh,
really?
that guy, Obi-Wan. No, George
kidding.
sees himself
Yeah.
as either
Yoda.
Obi-Wan Kenobi or I don't think George is the type of storyteller who sees himself as R2-D2.
Yeah.
The one who is observing
Everything.
everything.
Okay.
Right? He's not that kind of storyteller.
That's
No.
an interesting theory, though.
That's what I would write myself into as.
Yeah.
I'm this robot who's observing everything. The story is being it follows the robot a lot.
Yeah, he's in every single
He's in
one.
every one. You know, that's who George should be. But no, he's Obi-Wan Kenobi. He is the space wizard.
He's Kenobi.
Because knowing George, and I've said it before, he's created this world.
Yes.
And then retroactively made it his entire personality.
Or he's Yoda, and when he sold the rights to Star Wars to Disney, that's him going to the Dagobah system and selling his rights, and then living in the Dagobah system.
I think
because where is he today?
He got a hit. He got a hit on a story in a movie as a passion project, as something he loved, right, and something he wanted to create.
Mm-hmm.
And then when people wanted more, he had to write more. And he's not a writer. He's not. He made up all this.
He made a film. He's a filmmaker.
Yeah, he made up all this, but he's not really like a writer. He had a good idea, and then I think really just leaned into it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell by how much stuff he's retroactively changed, how much he's added in after the fact, because he never had a story to begin with.
Well,
He never had the lore,
He didn't build
right?
He didn't build the way a author builds.
No, but
he was writing screenplays. That's what he was doing.
But it's a poignant story, and it's really good.
yes, but he was writing screenplays. He wasn't writing a book. He wasn't writing a novel.
And I appreciate it.
So that was the answer.
It was, but there's actually some news I want to tell you guys. Apparently, Disney, the current owners of Lucasfilms,
Boo.
are getting a little upset at Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh, yeah, huzzah.
Huzzah, what a day. All right. If this loads, which you guys slow internet.
She made some
It's because of all your
anti-Semitic
tabs.
tweets.
It's not all my tabs. All right. Disney advises Kathleen Kennedy to stop announcing Star Wars projects. More Lucas.
Hold. The Kellogg Executive Education Live Virtual Program.
What?
We can become
are you
executives at Kellogg. Us three.
Are you talking about this ad
Yes,
over here?
we could become executives at Kellogg.
I don't want to be.
All
I'm not
right.
into the cereal and the breakfast
I
bars.
apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay. More Lucas film executive personnel changes possible. Okay. So
they're
Disney is
getting rid of her?
upset.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're not necessarily getting rid of Kathleen Kennedy. But Disney is a little pissed that the Star Wars in charge, the bigwigs over at the Star Wars branch of the Disney company,
Jon Favreau.
keep announcing stuff that they don't execute on. They're like, we got 3 awesome films. Ever since they acquired Disney, it was in the plans that they announced publicly. You get a new Star Wars movie every single year. After Skywalker, the last film, nothing. Crickets. Just some Mandalorian, just some little things on Disney Plus. They're like, here,
Yeah, show
just
stuff.
pushing everything. Yeah, it became show, but where's our major motion pictures?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they promised motion pictures, and while Star Wars was going, while the sequel trilogy was coming out, there was Han Solo, there was Rogue One, they were releasing Mandalorian, they had stuff, they were releasing the major films. I feel like there was another one that they released.
Okay, let me read this. Ever since The Rise of Skywalker premiered in theaters back in 2019, Kathleen Kennedy has announced 2 live-action Star Wars movies. On May 4th, 2020, the company released an official statement saying that Taika Waititi would be co-writing and directing a new film set in a galaxy far, far away. It's been 2.5 years, and the movie is still not written. Okay,
Well,
so Disney's
COVID had
pissed.
something to do with that.
It did, but Disney's pissed that the Star Wars branch is like, we got movies for you, and then they don't execute on. It's like making a promise you can't fulfill.
Get rid
You
of
know
Yeah,
what I'm
but they're
saying?
not even that. It doesn't even seem like they're working on them.
They're kind of not. They're putting a lot of stock into shows.
They've announced movies coming from Taika Waititi, coming from other people.
Who's this guy?
They announced them, but who knows when they're going. Oh yeah, Lindelof.
Okay, so Damon Lindelof is working on scripts
Mr.
for
Lindelof.
a Star
Wait,
Wars movie,
Lin-
and this is going to be the next Star Wars movie. That's apparently Star Wars number 10, right?
What is it gonna be about?
We don't know.
Oh,
We don't know.
I swear, if it's about destroying another Death Star, I
wait,
am
is
going
this
to
gonna be
lose
Star Wars
my
X?
stuff.
This is going to be Star Wars X, right?
do you mean?
Did we get 8 movies? Would you stop reaching across the table, you foolish boy? You foolish little boy. Stop it.
You were getting on to
was
me.
gonna tickle him. I
You were
was
getting
like-
on to me for almost knocking his water over earlier.
You knock over my
legit-
computer, you knock over my water, you almost knock my mic off the table. In the middle of a podcast when I have thought, I'm trying to figure out
You go like this.
Is this Stop. Is this Star Wars X? Stop! You sons of guns!
I just had to tickle when you do this. You gotta tickle.
Is this Star Wars X or is this Star Wars 9? I can't remember the number. Star Wars 7, 8, 9. Yeah, this is Star Wars X. All right, it has to be. That's the new. That's the correct
I
number.
hate it.
You hate it?
I hate it. I don't want to see it.
Okay.
I'll only see it if they put Keira Knightley in it.
So
Boo,
we
ew,
have these
no.
I'm kidding,
fools
I don't
here. What was it? From left to right, you have.
People who've destroyed Star Wars.
That's right. From left to right.
Abrams saved it. He did what he could to save
He
it.
tried. He didn't.
tried.
He
He didn't
definitely didn't
succeed.
save it. But the more I read up about J.J. Abrams, the less I like him.
You think he's
He's
just a.
he's had his dirty little hands in every property, and now his acolytes are getting into every property, and they suck. The people who have worked under him
had
at
some-
writing.
wait, no, he did Lost.
I wonder
haven't seen
if,
the show, but anybody who would give a whole 10-season show and then say it was all a dream should never do filming.
Wait, who
again.
did Lost?
Abrams.
James.
That was his
Abrams
show.
Made Lost, and you're saying you're okay with Abrams?
No, I'm saying I never watched the show, but I'm saying if a whole 10-season show and then it ended up being a dream, that's the worst.
Flubbing any show, Game of Thrones included, after.
Yeah, but he didn't do game.
Right? No, but
Just
he's,
like I thought.
he's Jewish.
Abrams.
He is Jewish, and his wife is Catholic.
Yeah.
He sometimes takes
Pretty
his
sure she
children to
was-
religious services on Jewish holidays. Abrams. See, what is Kanye West trying to tell the public?
Anti-Jew. Well,
The Jews are filling Hollywood.
yeah, I don't know. We keep finding people who have worked with Bad Robot in everything.
Is that
and
his?
Bad
his.
Robot's
Bad
his
Robot?
company, and they aren't good at writing. They're bad. Everything is
No, there's some good bad robot.
mystery box.
There's some good bad robot.
There's some. It's
Good-
but
do
it's
bad robot
it's
films.
few and
Type-
far between.
type in bad robot
The-
film.
No, we know there's some. There's also a lot that aren't.
I'm saying his style, he's got a specific style, but the people that have worked for him that have moved on to other stuff copy his style much worse. My point. J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Lord of the Rings. Rings
How
of
many
Power.
people
You're
are
right.
trying to copy Mr. Beast?
I don't
Everybody
understand.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, like there's
No.
at least like
I don't mean
4
copy.
big guys.
I don't mean copy. I mean people that work with and for him do the same thing he does,
Yeah.
but worse.
You know the Viking guy that used to work for Mr. Beast?
Yeah,
What?
Nice.
I know.
What about him?
He used to work for Mr. Beast.
Yeah, I'm familiar with him.
Yeah. What we're talking about Abrams though.
Yeah. What's the point of this? I feel like we've gone off track.
The point of this
Yeah.
is that there are stirrings inside the Disney company, and maybe they're gonna give old Kathleen the boot. Maybe get a man in that position.
Oh, I did want to say.
That
Maybe
ain't
get a-
happening.
I did want to say, I don't think we'll get any good Star Wars movies until they get somebody else.
You think she's the sole problem with this?
Yeah.
You think
Why?
she's sticking her manicured nails?
I-
Wait, Fozzie's the blue Muppet, right? Who's the blue?
Fozzie Bear? Yeah, that's
no,
the blue
who's
Muppet.
okay? Who's the guy with the blue?
Gonzo?
Gonzo.
Dang.
I don't think she's Gonzo.
I don't know. What is
Her
she?
head shaped like a thumb. I firmly believe until they get her out of there and get somebody who knows storytelling. Yeah, look at that.
Oh, like that.
There's her nose.
Until they get somebody who knows storytelling, because I mean, what has she done for Star Wars?
Not much. Just problems.
Problems.
And she brought, Ewan McGregor out on stage to be like, we're confirming that Ewan McGregor is playing Kenobi. Come on out, we have Ewan here.
I would have preferred that he didn't.
Yeah.
Honestly.
After that movie, I would have preferred he didn't.
But remember,
Show.
that was freaking, 6 years ago? It took them 6 years to make that crappy season.
Oh, it was 6 years?
It was a
6
long time
Yeah, it
ago.
came out 6 years ago.
They announced that he was playing Obi-Wan a long time ago.
Obi-Wan didn't come out 6 years ago, but they announced that he was.
Hey, no, yeah, I'm saying it took them that long.
Yeah, no,
They weren't working on it.
It's been a crap show for Star Wars.
Which is why they're upset over at Disney, is because they keep announcing stuff to get people hyped. And then they don't fulfill their
Kenobi
promises.
was probably the worst show so far.
Nobi? That's a fun name.
I personally think that Kenobi is worse than She-Hulk.
That's a pretty bold
Because I
statement
had
there.
no vested interest in She-Hulk, aside from I wanted to see Hulk smash, and
I'm
we
actually
did.
with you on that.
Apparently,
I'm
he did
actually
that
with
off
you.
screen.
He did
because his son comes
He did some
in.
smashing
He
off screen.
smashed off screen. What I'm saying, no, I think Obi-Wan
I'm
is.
actually with you on that.
It's a worse show because you're more invested in these characters.
Wasn't Ice Cube's son
Ice Chunk.
Ice Chunk was in it?
Yes, he is in it.
Yeah, he's in Kenobi.
And he's a nothing character. Everybody's a nothing character.